Welcome in, everybody. My name is Josh, it's the Gaming Joy channel, and we are back on Hutan Pantai. And we got some stuff going on, and let's just jump into it. So, I kind of started our day already. We've already started doing some stuff. We've already started running around with them. Oh, what is that? I don't know what that is. We're already harvesting some spinach. Spinach is going to be the name of the game today. And we're continuing on with our Can You Survive challenge. We may be doing this challenge a little bit less frequently because obviously the intention is to survive and survive on overtime. And I don't want to rush into it. I don't get burned out on this map, so I'm going to play it a little bit less often and maybe do some more, you know, what I've been doing so far, which is more different things, other maps, other challenges. I may focus on my square by square challenge and kind of play that until we're done with it and then come back for this one. But that's, you know, part of the course. We got a lot of fun. We got some interesting stuff to talk about. So let's get into it. By the way, so welcome in everybody else. Say hi. Quick say hi to Jake. Thanks for being here. And Grumpy Gray Farmer. Grumpy Gray Farmer who needs some help. Grumpy Gray Farmer, how can I help you? What can I do to help, buddy? While I scroll through my tools, and I'm going to need to be emptied out, so let's go to the empty out. This one. This guy just standing here like a doofus. You've lost your sound on FS25. I'm actually really upset right now. Hold on. We might have to actually... I didn't start the game until after the wheel was running. Why is the wheel... Hold on. I might be an extra doofus tonight. Now, I don't know if that's actually going to work, but let's find out. Oh, and it is. Okay. I was an extra doofus and started the game without the wheel even plugged in. Like, it's there, but it wasn't plugged in at the time when I turned the game on. Sound works everywhere else except for FS25. Okay. So let's think about that. Let's pull up next to this guy and let him empty out while we're waiting. First of all, we're going to go... We would probably want to go into your settings. And go into general settings. And make sure that your volume master is on. Now, also, your certain... Each different part of the volume you also need to set. Make sure your volume master is on. That's going to be the sound from the game. If you happen to be like streaming or something else at the same time while you're playing the game, then you might need more than the volume master. Personally, everything is set to 100%. So the only thing is you can't hear anything from Farm Sim. That's a little odd. Without knowing your full sound setup, do you have any kind of audio routing software? I think this guy needs some help too. Yeah, we gotta do this guy too. This field's almost done. We have 2 more contracts to do, so we're using these contract vehicles to the best of their abilities. So no other routing functionality. Like I have a beacon mic, which has its own audio routing system, like built into it. So I can actually control the volume of the game separately than the volume of everything else. There is one other place to check, and I'll show. It would really help if I actually, like, drove in a straight line. I can't even remember how to drive. Seriously, what is going on here? Okay, that should be in a good enough straight line. Is that good enough? Maybe we have to get into the other vehicle to tell it to unload. Start the vehicle and it'll unload. Perfect. Okay, we're going to go drop this spinach off. Now, the other thing we can check, and I'll show you real quick. Pardon. Give me 1 second. So you can see it full size. If the game itself, if this is down all the way or this is muted right here, it's a little hard to see. But if there's a little X right there, then you won't hear anything in the game. So I would guess that that's probably what it is. But I don't know for sure without actually looking at your computer and seeing. But that would be my next thing to check. And then, of course, you know, the default thing if you have problems with Windows is, you know, did you restart your computer? Like, sometimes just restarting fixes things. You never know. How is everyone else tonight? Tony S., welcome in, sir. Thanks for being here. Thanks for joining. Thanks for coming along for the ride. I love how cars pass you now. That's one of those little, like, interactive things that's, like, pretty dang cool. And I did the failure that I shouldn't have done. I started playing today without rebooting my computer first. So the audio seems to be, like, clipping out every once in a while. I don't know why that's happening. It's happening. I'm sorry. I can't fix it now. But let's see. What else did I do? Oh, so over here in our little yard here, we're going to call this our, like, satellite yard. I put down, because I own this property now, I put down a silo. So this is the big silo. And this is a bulk silo. So this is probably one of the few silos anywhere in the game where... You're gonna... How do I... 5. What's 5? There's no 5 on this keyboard. Oh, shoot. Turned on music somehow. How do I turn that off? Supposedly we're listening to Latino FM, but I don't have... Whatever. I don't care. How do you turn the music off? Does anyone know? 4? We're not actually hearing it because I have all that stuff turned off, but it might be taking up my network, which I don't want it to do, so. So one of the reasons I have a silo is because I have 4 spinach contracts open right now. And anytime you have multiple contracts where you want to use the same equipment for multiple contracts, if you just start delivering the output just willy-nilly while you're still harvesting the other fields, you could lose access to the equipment before you even get to the second field or third field or however many fields you want to use that equipment for. So if any of the contracts that need delivering of something, and right now in Farm Sim 25, that's only harvesting contracts. So if you do a harvesting contract and you want to use the harvester for more than one thing, don't, and if it's the same crop, don't deliver the crop right away. If it's different crops, no big deal. But if it's the same crop, you don't want to deliver it right away, because you will lose access to that vehicle. You would lose access to that vehicle. It'll be like, oh yeah, you're done. You don't have access to this vehicle anymore, and then you won't be able to use it anymore. So if you deliver everything, it'll consider the contract complete, and then the vehicles will suddenly say, you can't use this vehicle here. So don't deliver right away. I don't know if that's 100% true, but that's what I do from like a safety check perspective, just to be sure. And this guy's not done with his field yet. We're gonna leave him alone. This guy, we're gonna back up a little bit. You lower the bunker first, jerk. I'm gonna go ahead and harvest this last little bit right here that it missed. And then go over the other end. My day's been a day. Not very great, actually. I had an issue with my computer, my work computer today, where I couldn't get into the computer for almost half the day. Lost a half a day of work because of some password reset malarkey. It's better now, but it was just a frustrating day of sitting there on a chat with my company's tech support to try to get it working, which is never fun. That's not what I wanted. And let's make sure, do we get all of the crop? Let's look at our map. The map will tell me. Crop types. Yeah, I got all the crop. Look at that. We got all of it. Okay. And then the next, I have to go over to field 5 and field 43. So 5's the closest. So we're going to bring this monster over to field 5. And get a worker going on doing the next contract. So we're going to do 2 more contracts. These things are massive. I would never buy one of these for myself. And speaking of, we did actually have to buy our own spinach harvester. But we didn't buy what you expect. But we'll talk about that in a few minutes. So we had a couple things happen this past week in regards to mods. Actually, let's see if the wheel cam is working. Wheel cam is mostly working. Let's get the wheel cam there. And while I hit a like pole, okay, sweet. Wheel cam's working. We did have a couple of little minor issues when it comes to mods this week, and unfortunately, not good news. In all honesty. Monday, and it wasn't just me. Luckily, well, not luckily, but on Monday, somebody stole all of my mods. So every mod that I have listed on GitHub for pre-release and testing and stuff like that, to allow you guys to try out the mods that I'm submitting to ModHub before they actually make it onto ModHub, because ModHub these days takes forever. For all of those mods are now all public, and I did not want them to be. All of those mods were then uploaded to scraper sites, and I've talked about scraper sites before. Scraper sites are the bane of the internet. You put what they do is they don't host anything, but they basically host a link to a mod And what people will do, and what happened to me, and what happened to, I think, 8 or 9 other modders also, all in the same time, was somebody took my mods off of GitHub, uploaded them to mods file, or modfile.com, what, I don't know, one of those stupid file sharing sites with all the banner ads, and then posted them on at least one, if not multiple, scraper sites. And then those scraper sites, because they feed off of each other, within a couple hours, all of the scraper sites had all of the mods. So in total, 8 different mods for FS25 are all stolen from my GitHub account and published without my knowledge or consent on scraper sites. I submitted a what's called a DMCA, basically demanding those scraper sites take that content down, because most of them actually do have policies against this kind of stuff. If somebody uploads them and they didn't have rights to upload them. But yeah. So there is a bunch of mods that I never intended to be public, ever. Stuff that I have made specifically for you guys, directly for you guys, for my members, my channel members, people who are members of my Discord get early access to the mods I'm making. Some of the ones you see here, like the Black Editions pack, where I have that forestry trailer and my customized version of the Lodestar, and like a couple the mower we worked on in the live modding session from day one. All of those things were in a pack called Black Editions, and Black Editions was never intended to be public. And now it is. And now random people have it. And that's just crappy, honestly. And a lot of it feels like I feel hurt. I know that it was probably some bot somewhere, but some person had to intentionally tell a bot to scrape my stuff. And not only that, the reason why I know for a fact that it wasn't done by a bot is because every single one of those mods have in their description a link to my GitHub. If you have problems, go here to report your errors, report your bugs. And in every one of the descriptions of those mods, that link, which links back to me and my website or my GitHub account, that was all removed. So someone intentionally stole from me and then tried to make it seem like that they weren't stealing. And that just stinks. It hurts. I did send DMCA notices to all of those mod sites. One of them actually responded today. Actually, I sent them over the weekend. One of them responded today and took down all of the mods that I had put up. And also, they also flagged the person who uploaded them as a violator of their terms of service, which is great. But like the farm fill stations, which is in testing for giants. It's pending testing for giants. Now that mod is completely public on mod share sites all over the place, and it's the wrong version. This is the worst part about the whole thing. I submitted version 1.0.0.0, like the 1.0 version, to Giants Mod Hub. And this mod sharing site has shared newer versions of those, because I've fixed them over time since I submitted them, than what's actually on testing for Mod Hub. So for something like the sawmill, that got stolen too, and it got uploaded with the wrong version. It uploaded a much newer version, which is still in testing. It wasn't ready for release, and now that's out on the internet, and so I have to combat that, I guess. It just it hurts. There's a whole lot more description about it on my GitHub. I'm sorry, on the Discord. If you are part of the Discord, feel free to join in. That's not the right keyboard, sorry. Hello. Type, please. Thank you. But, you know, for some of those things, you need to be a member to see them. And basically, people, the links that I was sharing are member only. While the GitHub repository was public, you have to be a member to see those things and find out information. It was how I shared information. And it turns out I wasn't the only one that this happened to. A bunch of other modders, the same thing happened, whether it was their GitHub or their itch.io. Basically, everything was taken that was available for FS25, and all of that stuff is now public, and it's out there when it shouldn't be. And the part I really worry about is that I've submitted these mods, earlier versions of them, to Giants. And they're currently in testing. And the downside of that is that because they're currently in testing, I'm actually somewhat fearful that Giants is going to fail my mods or not allow me to get them onto ModHub, which was the entire intention, because they're hosted somewhere else. I wasn't the one who hosted them somewhere else. That was done by a malicious person. But they are hosted somewhere else, and that technically violates Giants' terms of service. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know how I can do it. I don't know if there is anything that I can do. We don't need the volume mixer anymore. So it, you know, it is what it is. It's unfortunate. We just have to deal with it now. And I have to deal with the aftermath of that if that happens. And I really hope that Giants doesn't take offense to it, and that I can actually prove, based on post dates and commit dates and all that kind of stuff, that it is my stuff, and that I wasn't the one who uploaded them, and yada yada yada. But the fact of the matter is it's still out there. It's still a problem, and my privacy was violated in some way, right? And that's just... can't tell you how much that hurts. Trying to get to the other harvester. Here it is. Wow, we're 97% full. So on another note, and in a related, I guess, in some way, is that Giants have finally started testing the stuff that I've asked them to test. So the industrial sawmill is the first one to go into testing. And I've talked about this a little bit on Discord, but not really anywhere else publicly. But I'm actually really hoping that it fails. That every single one of those mods fail. Now that sounds really weird to say, but it's true. I really hope that they fail, for a very good reason. And the reason I hope that everything fails is because it's been 2 months since I submitted those mods. And for most of them, I think actually all of them, I have made changes and improvements to those mods in the past 2 months. But Giants is still testing the version that I submitted to them 2 months ago. But since I actually want the players to get the most up-to-date version with stuff fixed, so there's a couple bugs here and there, that means the only way for that to happen is either Giants passes the mods, they get released, and then I submit an update right away. And the update time is like 4 to 5 working days or whatever, quote unquote. But then I'll have to wait for the whole nother testing cycle. But if they fail it, like for whatever reason that they usually fail things for, then I can actually put in all of that fixed stuff or the latest version of that mod. It'll still have to be version 1.0.0.0 to release, but I can make sure that the version that Giants gets is the latest and greatest and has as much of the new content as possible. So in some small way, I actually hope that my mods fail. It's just, I don't know, in my brain, that just feels very strange to say that I hope that my mods fail. But I do. I actually do hope that they fail, so that I can make sure that everything is the latest and greatest. And I think that that's what you guys want, and that's what I want to give to you. So, like the farm fill station that we're using on this map, that's still pending testing. It's been pending testing since December 4th. So just over a month and a half now of real life time. Actually, as far as testing days, that's like 22, 23 working days for testing because of Giants vacation and Christmas and all that stuff. But they should start testing that yesterday, but who knows? Giants doesn't seem to want to listen to any of their own stuff anymore. But it's in progress, supposedly, and it'll get done eventually. I already did fix what they submitted for the industrial sawmill. So the industrial sawmill was the first one that actually got failed, which is good, right? We just talked about that. It's actually good. And when it failed, I was able to add in the latest and greatest changes, which actually adds a couple things, like added Polish translations, added in a couple features that I messed up, added in a point that somebody, I think it was was it Grumpy? Was that you earlier today? Was asking about the fill point for wood chips or something like that. Were you asking about that on the Discord? I forget. Somebody was asking about the fill point for wood chips, which is fixed in the version that I have resubmitted to Giants for update. So I fixed all the things they asked me to fix. Well, I fixed most of the things they asked me to fix. If you want to know more about what I'm talking about there, you're going to have to go to my Discord and read it. But I did fix most of what they asked me to fix. Some of it I argued with them and said, no, I'm not fixing it. And it's ready for it to go back in the list. So it could be as early as the end of the week. I doubt it. I don't think we're going to see it for another 2 to 3 weeks, but whatever. The industrial sawmill hopefully will be the first one that comes out. And then the farm fill stations, and then hopefully the Batwing. Really, really excited about the Batwing. I really hope Giants allows that. I have gone to great lengths to make that one of the best mowers out there. And I really hope that everyone enjoys it. Tony asked a good question, which I don't actually know the answer to. So I don't actually know who did this. It doesn't necessarily mean that it was a member. And I'm not blaming the members in any way. Please, please be clear about that. If I do find out it was a member, they're going to get banned no matter what. But if it wasn't a member, it could have been anybody. Because, and the reason why, is that the contract boost mod has a link to my GitHub for contract boost in the mod description that's on ModHub. And because the link to my GitHub account is there, they could have just said, oh, I want to download contract boost. Oh, wait, let's just see what else Josh has. Oh, let's just steal everything that Josh has and make sure that everyone has it, because it looks like Josh has made a bunch of stuff for FS25. So I'm going to steal it and give it to everyone through a shady scraper site, and because I don't think Josh should hoard his mods, or whatever reason they had. I don't really give a crap what their reasoning was. Their reasoning is false no matter how you look at it, but whatever. Right? So that's what I assume happened. I am assuming somebody found it from the contract boost mod. And I've been talking about my GitHub. I share my GitHub link publicly. But that does mean that anything that I have not released on GitHub, on ModHub, I am going to be keeping those files private from now on, instead of trusting the internet to do the right thing. So that's the downside of it. But the sawmill is almost ready, and I hope everyone really likes the sawmill. I put a lot of hard work and effort into the sawmill. And you know, it's funny with the sawmill. the Sawmill didn't have very many downloads in 22. Now, that part of that is because I didn't release it till the end of 22, but it didn't have very many downloads. It's up at like 50 or 60,000 downloads, whereas some of my other mods are close to 300,000 downloads. But it didn't have as much traffic, and I think it's just because it came out late, which is why I really want to get, you know, my mods in on Mod Hub as soon as humanly possible, because I want everyone to be able to experience this stuff, because it means a lot to me, and it means a lot that everyone gets access to it. Yes, Gold Gaming. I, along with several other modders, have had a significant number of mods stolen and re-uploaded on scraper sites. Basically everything that I've worked on since the beginning of FS25 that was public on GitHub. Now, some of it wasn't public on GitHub, and some of it didn't get stolen, and some of it I still have on my hard drive because I didn't trust having it on GitHub. But some of them was stuff like I put up for you guys, like the Black Editions thing, right? The stuff we talked about through our live modding sessions. I wanted that to be free and public, but some jerk basically has taken that away from everyone. I will still work on those mods. I will still work on those repositories, but they're now private, and no one has access to them except for me. And if you want to see releases for those, you're going to have to be a member of my Discord and be subscribed to this channel, and then you will see links only within my Discord to my private Dropbox links for those files. And if I can find some way to even further password protect those files, I will. But yeah, it's a bummer. It is what it is, but it's definitely a bummer. Oh well. Made me really angry, you know what I mean? Like, for a day, like, I was like... Special thanks goes out to a couple of people who saw it right away. David, thank you so much, David, for noticing it, finding it right away. Tony Myth also, he was actually trolling some of the other mod sites and found my content for my mods on other mod sites, which is when I knew that it had gotten wildly dispersed. There's basically, of the unique URLs, there's like five mod sites, and one of them being a German mod site, and only one of them so far has actually responded to my request to get the content taken down. I mean, I don't care if they scrape Mod Hub. Have fun. Scrape Mod Hub. Scrape other sites. Don't take stuff that is not yours and that's not yours to release. You know what I mean? Like, that's... No matter how you look at it, it's outright stealing. You know what I mean? And you also have to remember that those sketchy places, they don't actually check anything. They don't check mods for validity or for the source or to make sure that the person uploading it is the person uploading it. And one of the only mod sites that used to do that was King Mods. And not only is King Mods no longer validating if you are the original modder anymore, they actually released almost a dozen mods at the very, very beginning of FS25 that were carbon copies. Some of them were written differently, some of them were written exactly the same, where they stole code from existing developers and released their own version of very popular mods like Super Strength or Super Speed or I forget the other ones. There's a bunch of them, like a lot of those like quality of life stuff. But they basically stole existing mods, released them on their own site as their own, as if they were the author. And just because they had their own vehicle for getting that stuff out, people are considering the stuff that they find on King Mods now valid. But King Mods is no better than any of the rest of the scraper sites anymore, and I won't trust anything else other than Mod Hub. And one other source, which is actually coming up new, the Farm Sim game team, at the FSG team, is actually building out their own mod hub, essentially, which will mirror the existing mod hub, but will also provide comments and reviews and the ability for a player to interact with a mod and say, hey, I reviewed this, or this, I'm having this bug, or this is a great mod, thanks for giving us, and be able to have that interactiveness that I wish was part of mod hub but isn't. So Farm Sim Game is actually working on that right now. Their early version of it is already up, and if I can, I will be hosting some of my mods there. Some of the less than mod hub mods, if that makes any sense. Welcome in, Rusty. Thanks for being here. Shoot. Wait. It's Rusty. Is your thing in like an hour? You were doing some kind of announcement tonight. Is that like an hour or 45 minutes? I just realized that I'm streaming over you. Okay. Shoot, I'm gonna be still streaming at that point. So, but I will send. We'll actually jump into Rusty's stream if you're still streaming around 8 o'clock, Rusty, or an hour and 15 minutes from now. We'll redirect everyone over to your stream to find out what your big news is that you and BDD are working on. I'm actually very excited. It's something about challenges, so I'm excited to see what that is. This guy's only done a headland, but we all know that headlands are like pretty big. So let's let him come over here and we'll let him unload. Okay. Well, perfect. I'm hoping I'll make it there in time for the special announcement. We will jump over there as soon as we're done here. Okay, we didn't get very much, so I guess we're trying to clear him out a little bit early, which is fine. We're gonna park this guy here, and then we're gonna go harvest our own. These are just contracts, you know, contract. This is a contract field. That one over there is a contract field. I was hoping to buy this field so we'd be able to harvest it ourselves. Maybe we'll harvest it after this contract, or buy it, or have enough money for it. But these are pretty substantial contracts if you look at them. If we come in here to the contract system, and we come over here, we look at these contracts, like the one we're on now is 43. It's a $13,000 contract. So it's pretty substantial. Harvesting. What's this? I have 5 harvesting fees. Wait. Hold on. Spinach. Oh, I have a 5th one I forgot about. Oh, 29. We're going to have to go all the way across the map to 29 to do that one. It's fine. All right, let's jump over to our own vehicles for a minute. And right here, I have how we're going to do it. Oh, shoot. Sick with the flu. I hope you feel better, Gold Gaming. Thank you so much for stopping by to say hi. And I hope you feel better soon, dude. We'll see you soon. This is... We got our fast track. So we actually spent the money and bought the fast track. We own this now. I'm very happy we own our fast track. After lots of contracting and whatnot. Actually, do we own it? Am I lying? I totally forgot, actually. It's been about 2 weeks since I played this map. Yep, fast track. We're only leasing one thing right now, which is this harvester. So this harvester... unfold. Turn it down. Please lift first. No, that's detach. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to harvest the spinach with this thing. Now, this thing is obviously not intended for spinach, actually. I don't care. I updated it so that it works for spinach. Now, the animations don't work 100% right because, you know, it's not supposed to be used for spinach. But, as you can see, it is harvesting spinach. I just haven't fixed the animations yet, so maybe I'll fix those. I did make it colorable because, obviously, it has to be colorable. But this will allow us to harvest our own field of spinach and do something with it, which I'm very excited about. And this is obviously like an edit. It's one of those kind of things that Giants probably wouldn't allow on ModHub. And something I'd love to be able to provide for you guys. So if you guys want access to this vehicle, to play with it on your own playthroughs, join the Discord. And it will be available as soon as it's done, as soon as I fix the animations, for your use. It works for spinach. It works for all of the root crops. Potatoes, sugar beets, carrots, parsnips, blah, 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 blah. It works for everything. It also works for beans, peas, and spinach, which makes it kind of a do-everything kind of thing, which is nice. And the best part is it's a 6-meter vehicle, right? It's a 6-meter vehicle, which means that, you know, you're going to get your field done half as much time. And it doesn't cost that much. It's like $100 grand or something like that, versus like those big machines that I'm using from the contract system, which are way bigger. The only downside is it seems to be pretty heavy, and is really taxing our fast track. Very taxing our fast track. To be fair, this is quite a hill. So once we get this headland done, we'll do back and forth across the field, instead of trying to go up and down the field, because this fast track is not happy right now. I don't know if everyone saw it, but I did an interview last Friday with BDD Gaming, which is actually Rusty is doing some kind of announcement with BDD Gaming in just a short while. But I did an interview, my first ever interview, which was actually a lot of fun. I did see some of you in chat, so thank you so much for joining. Thank you for coming along to experience something new. But it was a ton of fun to be able to do that. Let's do this. It was a lot of fun to do an interview. I've never done an interview before, and it was fun to, you know, talk about myself, I guess. We're gonna have to do pipe out here, and then we're gonna have to go to our other vehicles. This one is gonna be where we dump it. I don't know where, I don't know how, but we're gonna dump it. Oops. I hit the sign. Sorry. Let's run over to empty out our thing. We only got one headland done, so we still got some stuff to do. We're just doing spinach tonight. But it's fun. This is actually the first harvest on a field that we own, which kind of makes this harvest a little bit special. Here we go. I don't know what setting this trailer is on. Don't really care. I don't know if it's set on an Unreal setting or not. Looks like it might be. Alright, we got 12,000 liters in one load, so we're going to have to do a little bit of unloading with this thing. The mod that I built does actually have other less than realistic settings, but I decided not to use them for myself. All right, we're going to come here. We're going to do that. Check our lines. No, we're going to do this. Yep, we're going to go there. That's good. And that, well, just the one though, right here. And then we're going to down. And while that does its thing, I'm going to hook up my I'm going to hook up my joystick. Just how I can turn the machines on and off. But I don't have it hooked up right now, so oops, can't turn them on and off. See? Nice. You can even put the pipe in. Welcome in, everybody. Thanks for being here. Towboat, thanks for coming in. And thank you to everyone who helped kind of deal with that mod issue earlier in the week. It was, you know, unfortunate, but it happened. It's over now. And hopefully I can just move on. Jack Sarge, how you doing? What's going on, buddy? I totally didn't hit the button. Welcome into the stream. We are harvesting some spinach. And you know what I'm missing? You know what I'm actually missing? There was a mod called Simple Inspector for 22 that I haven't seen come to 25 yet, which was honestly one of my favorite mods. I use it on every single one of my playthroughs. We're going to pause this. I think the workers are waiting for me to unload them. Let's check real quick. Nope. Not waiting. Oh, this one's 98%. This one. Oh, thanks for lurking, buddy. So the simple inspector puts a little HUD in your view that tells you, like, if you have workers running or other tractors, and it tells you how full stuff is, and which lets you, like, especially when you're running multiple contracts and multiple workers like I am, kind of keep a better eye on things so you know when stuff needs to be unloaded, right? Because, like, there is the worker who's currently doing field 43. This is field 5. The one who's currently doing field 43, I don't have any idea how full he is. He could be 95% full, and then I'd have to go unload him. But he's not. So I don't have any way to see how full he is, which is kind of a bummer, honestly. But because all of these are being delivered to my fill station, which is funny, all 5 contracts are getting delivered to my fill station. Probably because my fill station has the best prices on the map. Just saying. So the game has decided to make them all deliver there, which is, I think, funny. Tennessee Farmer, welcome in. How's it going? Thanks for being here. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for joining. We are having some spinach fun. This is the first time I've harvested spinach. And honestly, the first time I've harvested my own field in this game. Everything else has been contracts. Lots of contracts. There's nothing wrong with contracts, especially as you're getting started, but it's my first time actually harvesting my own field, which is pretty cool. And I think the cool thing with the contracts, one of the reasons I enjoy contracts, and this may not be everyone's cup of tea, but I enjoy contracts just for the sake of being able to try out different tractors and stuff. You know, I might not like all the tractors, but to be able to try them all, I think it's pretty fun. And you get to try them essentially for free. I think my button's backwards. I just realized that my joystick button for turning the camera is actually backwards. Sorry. What are you doing? Giants made these things do this weird, like, corner thing for some reason. It's very odd. This whole, like, I'm gonna cut the corner away procedure. I don't know if it's, like, legit. It's just really weird. For these big, huge harvesters, they do all these weird turning maneuvers. I don't get it. Alright, I'll empty you out when you're done, dude. Or can I do it right now? Alright, let's sneak in right now while he's still backing up. And he should be like, oh, it's time for me to unload. There we go. We got him to unload. Sweet. And look, we're almost full, so we'll head off to the dump point, dump this out, because this trailer is like half the size of that Crone trailer. So it's gonna need some dumping more frequently. Welcome in, everybody. I don't know if you guys caught it. I did a couple live streams over the end of the weekend, playing out this new game that's in early access. It was pretty early access. Wasn't very much content to the game. But are these guys having a car fight? Those two cars are stuck. They're like clipped into each other. Oh well. A little space game to kind of get my mind off of all of the mods that I have sitting there waiting for no reason. We found out today, not necessarily officially, but secondhand, that Giants is prioritizing maps over other types of mods, which kind of sucks. And they're doing it without telling anybody, and they didn't post it publicly. They're just doing it. And I understand that we need maps, but, you know, what's to say that my mod, which was submitted 2 months ago, is not more important to the community than X or Y map? Right? It's not for Giants to decide. And if you're going to prioritize one type of content or one type of modder over another, you got to at least be upfront about it. Like, you got to actually tell people, hey, we're going to do this because of this. And so that at least the community understands, instead of it feeling like what it feels like now, which is favoritism. Because Galmston wasn't submitted, from what I understand, until early 2025, and I've had stuff since waiting since the beginning of December. But Galmston's already out. My stuff is still waiting for testing. And in my mind, that kind of sucks. But the fun part about it is we do have 2 new maps out for 25. Calmsden Farm, which I played a lot of on FS22, and I'm actually not planning on playing at all in 25. I'm sorry if you were hoping that I was going to play that map. I'm not. I played hundreds upon hundreds of hours on Calmsden Farms on 25. I edited the map much the same way that Oxy did, where he's made a lot of the buildings removable. I did all of that on my own in 22. And if I'm not sure, because I haven't actually looked at it, but did he actually make any custom crops? Does anyone know if there's any custom crops on Calmsden? I think originally he had wasn't it linseed on Calmsden? So I'm curious if he actually did that again and added linseed as a custom crop. But I was testing Contract Boost on Frankenmuth, which was the other map that came out this week. Just linseed. So he did include linseed. So that is a custom crop, which is great. I'm happy to see that he included a custom crop. That means both maps that came out this week, both had a custom crop. Because this kind of is like a sub-note, but Frankenmuth also has alfalfa. Which looks okay. Apparently it works with, the alfalfa works with the animal feed on that map, which is great. So it's the first map that's included. I would never actually play on Frankenmuth. I played Frankenmuth for a multiplayer challenge in 22. Didn't like it at all. I was only there because of the challenge. Did a PC versus console challenge, and Frankenmuth was the map that we chose because it was an all platforms map. But in my mind, Frankenmuth is kind of eh. It's way too flat, and they didn't change that at all. The new map is also just as flat as the old one was, which to me is like, it's not my favorite. Some people like it, but for me, you know, I like a hill like this. I like a challenge. Oh, we're full. We'll just pipe out. Pipe out. This guy's not full yet. This guy is almost full. So we need this one. We're going to go empty out our contract because this takes longer. Because he's got a big field to do. And because he's only doing 3 meters or 4 meters at a time, it's going to take quite a while to do this whole field. So we'll go empty him out. Good job. I am looking forward to playing that Oberwalsten, Upper Schwabia, Oberschwabe. I don't know how to pronounce the German name. But that German map looks really good. Definitely my kind of map. Feels to me very much like it's my type of map, basically. It's not an American map, but it is a German map. That's fine. It's my type of map. Once I edit it, of course. The map author is going to be working on some changes and updates to the map. But I doubt he's going to edit the things that I would edit. So I'm just hoping he fixes the existing bugs, because there's a few bugs on the map that are kind of make playing the map impossible. Like the starting farm supports milk, but there's no spawn for milk. And there's no trigger for milk, which kind of makes doing milk hard. And there's a bunch of other small stuff like that. There's a bunch of like collisions that are wrong. Some other weirdness with the map, which is fine. It's you know, he put it out for beta testing, so I beta tested it. And I was able to report all of the things that I found. We did that on a live stream last week, or the week before. And so that was fun. And I'm hoping that one comes out soon. And we can just get out here, get into the JCB, and continue on with our journey. I really have to figure out like a stick setup. I have my farm stick here, and I'm probably using about 5. when I'm using the tree harvester, I use most of the buttons. But when I'm not using the tree harvester, I hardly use any of the buttons. And it's got like 26 buttons or something on it. And so I have to figure out what I want to define those buttons as and set it up. Right now, I'm literally using one button. Right now, it's like my, you know, turn your vehicle on button. The lost 10 millimeters. Welcome in, sir. Thanks for being here. Or sir or madame, I guess. And welcome in. Thanks for coming in. We are having fun on Hutan for the Can You Survive challenge. And so far, I'm surviving, I guess. We'll see how long I survive on this map. It's... You know, I don't know yet. I'm loving Spinach with this harvester, and it'll be even better once I get the last couple of animations fixed. But I modded this harvester early on, like the second week we had the game, to do Spinach. There was a similar harvester like this in 22, which I had modified for red beets, and which I really loved. I like these kind of trailed harvesters. I also like harvesters that aren't $1 billion. You know what I mean? But today we're just doing lots of spinach. We have our own field of spinach, and then we have two contract fields that are currently in progress. And whichever one of those finishes first, there's one more contract field on the other side of the map to do. We'll go do that one, and then once all those contracts are done, we'll deliver it all. But so far, I'm liking spinach. I think it's a cool crop. I like the facts. I think I like the facts so far, because I haven't actually done it more than once, but I like the idea that you can harvest it twice in 1 year. I like that idea. I think that's a pretty cool feature or functionality. So we'll see. From what I've heard, it's pretty profitable. So, you know, this is like my first harvest of my own field. So I'm still like getting used to it, you know what I mean? Like I'm still like trying stuff out. And it's something different, right? It's something new. It's something different. The one thing I don't like about spinach is how Giants has implemented it. I don't like the whole, hey, we're going to give you a new crop and we're going to give you one vehicle and one way to harvest it, and that vehicle is $500,000. Like, I'm not a fan of that. Like, there are multiple different ways to harvest spinach. If you look in real life, there's multiple different ways to harvest it. This is one of them. But it doesn't mean it's the only way. So these guys are all doing good. I don't like and Giants does a lot of that. And they've done that with almost all of the new crops that they've introduced in the past couple of years. You know, they did it with grapes and olives. They did it with the red beet, carrots, stuff like that. The only difference with the red beet, carrots, parsnips is they had a couple different options. And while those options were all very realistic, they were all a pain in the butt. And none of them worked really good for single player. And that's one of those places where I think that Giants misses the boat. Is it, you're making a new crop, you're saying, hey, this is the new thing, we want everyone to play with this new crop because it's the latest and greatest thing, we hope you like it, and then they make it so that you can't do it in single player, where you have to use a worker. That stinks. One thing I want to do on this map is, this map has a, so part of this Can You Survive series I'm going to be doing, and this is the way I'm going to play it, is I want to experience the things that each map has that are kind of custom, right? I'm not going to go onto Riverbend Springs and make kimchi, right? That just doesn't make sense. I mean, I'm sure you could, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to make kimchi on this map, right? Because that makes sense. We're on an Asian map. We should be making kimchi. We should be harvesting lots of rice. We should be harvesting a lot of like the stuff that you need to make those products from here. So we don't have a rice farm yet. We'll eventually buy the starter farm and turn it into a full-on rice farm with, you know, the rice saplings and multiple rice fields, and we'll do long grain rice and short grain rice. That's the intention. Whoop, wrong button, wrong button. I put the wrong button like 3 times there. That was not fun. But yeah, like I'm super early. We're July year 2. Right? And we didn't start, we started with $0. We started with, I don't even remember. I don't even think we started with a tractor. We started with $0, and we built our way up to where we are now just by doing contracts and kind of experiencing the map for what it has. That's the way I like to play. So that's how we're playing it. We do have a loan. We haven't paid off it all yet. I think once we might like start paying off our loan with harvest money. So if I make any money off of this spinach, I'll probably start paying down the loan. That makes sense to me. Like, take your harvest profits to pay down the loan, but use contracts to be able to have enough money day to day to do stuff and buy stuff, right? That sounds fine. I don't know. I mean, I haven't looked. Actually, let's look. I haven't looked at the processed food plant. Let's look. I think that one of the cool features about 25 is that now you can do this. You can do this. You come over here to available. You come down to the canning factory. And we can make noodle soup, which includes flour and eggs to make noodle soup. That's pretty cool. I think that's only for this map. So that I'm going to have to definitely do that for rice flour. I can make it out of regular flour or rice flour. That's cool. Preserved carrots, parsnips. That's pretty cool. A bag of rice, just regular rice. A bag of long grain rice. That's pretty cool. I like the icons. These are kind of cool. Rice rolls? What is a rice roll? I know what rice. These are actually called rice cakes, giants. By the way, it's not a rice roll. It's called a rice cake. It's an actual thing. It's called a rice cake. I'll probably rename that. And you can have it here bagged as 100 spinach is 45 spinach bags. Let's do the math. So 100 pieces of spinach. So 1,000 liters of spinach is going to give you 450 liters of spinach bagged. And if we look at our prices table, spinach, 1,000 liters of spinach, normal prices is going to be $2.27 for 1,000 liters. And then if we come down here and look at spinach bag, which is should be bagged spinach or like packaged spinach. What do we say? It actually is. It is worth it. Look at that. $7.77 for the bagged spinach. And here it's $2.27. So it's 3 times as much. It's worth 3 times as much if you bag it, but you lose half the product to get it. So it's really like about a gain of about 15%. I'm guessing, if I'm doing the math right in my head. A gain of 15% is pretty good, and for me, that's kind of worthwhile to, if you own the production for other things. So we'll have to own that packaging factory. Yeah, I want to auto sell. I don't like auto sell. That's not true. I will do auto sell as soon as I turn off the loss from auto sell. I think the in-game loss from autosell is atrocious. It really is. It's really bad. Like, the fact that you lose 30% when you autosell, that kind of sucks. I think it doesn't need to be that much. I think maybe 10%, like a delivery fee or a pickup fee, like you have to pay some driver to come buy the stuff to sell it for you. That makes sense. But like it's currently at like 30% that you lose from the auto sell, and to me that's overkill. Plus, it's not a true auto sell. Like if I'm a business owner, I'm not gonna just auto sell and leave it on. I'm gonna wait until it's the best price and then I'm gonna auto sell. Or I'm gonna like set up my auto sell and be like, hey, I only want you to auto sell it when it's worth the most. And I'm going to hold on to it until it's not. So why would I just auto sell it every day? And for that matter, why can't we auto sell things that you would sell every day? Like eggs or milk. Like dairy farmers don't like milk their cows and hold on to it for a month. That's not how things work. They sell it every day. Sometimes twice a day. They get it to the dairy as soon as possible so that it can be processed, right? So why would you not have auto sell for stuff like milk? Like that should be auto sold. And you should be paying a delivery fee. But we don't have auto sell for that. Yeah, totally. Vegetables, I don't think you should store. I think you should sell them right away if you're playing realistically. Now, I'm not playing realistically. I'm going to wait for the best price. But realistically, vegetables should and could be stored. But you'd have to freeze them. So maybe the bag spinach is frozen spinach, which means you can wait to sell it whenever you want. So if I play it, I'm just going to play it like the processed spinach, like the bag spinach, is the same like you buy frozen spinach in the supermarket, right? That seems logical. And maybe we just sell the fresh spinach as soon as we're done harvesting it. We could do that too. But overall, I'm liking this harvester so far. The work with is way better on this thing than it is on those big monsters that are doing those other two fields. Hey, I wish I could hold more. Maybe when I buy it for myself outright, I will update the amount that it holds just a little bit. Right? I believe when I built this and I modded it myself, I added in a couple custom options for how much it holds, which seems logical. Alright. And we're almost done with our first field. Such a cool thing. Now, here's a question for anybody who knows, and if anyone has... Actually, the lost 10 millimeters, you might know. You said you were doing spinach. Do I have to do anything to this field between now and when I harvest it again? Do I have to roll it? Do I have to mulch it? Do I have to fertilize it, lime it, any of those things? Let me know so that I can do what's supposed to happen. Because I really don't know. No idea. This is definitely my first time harvesting this crop. So I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Please guide me. Alright, and there we go. That's our spinach field, the one we own, harvested. Now, we did get some damage from like a tornado or hail or something. Just dumb, because tornadoes wouldn't show up in frickin' Vietnam or wherever we are. Korea. Asian town. But we got crop damage. If it's still at 100% fertilized, you're good to go. Just let it grow again, okay? Well, let's look. I don't know. Let's find out. Because it's new to me too. Nope, this way. Fertilized. It is still one. It is not fertilized at all. Okay. So, I will have to fertilize it. Because it's not fertilized at all. Cool. It doesn't need lime, though. It just needs to be fertilized. That's not what I wanted to happen. That's not what I wanted to happen at all. Let's lift this up, and return it to the store. I'm not going to hold on to it for 4 months. I'll lease it again, or maybe we'll have enough money to buy it for the next harvest, which I think is in November. Is that right? Oh, possibly weeds. I think I'm playing with weeds. Only downside with this harvester is you got to drive in the middle of the road. And you take up the entire road because it's so wide. You got to be careful not to like clip signs and stuff. But you can send it. You drive across farmers' fields. Willy-nilly. Whoop, whoop. Hold it, hold it, hold it. If you guys haven't been following, Contract Boost has been updated a bunch. It was one of the mods that was also stolen, but that's fine. It has been updated a ton. We have a bunch of new options, which includes basically getting rid of, not completely, but one of the problems in the base game is now that they've added bailing contracts. If you're like me and you like doing contracts, that poses a problem. Because if you like doing bailing contracts, the game basically doesn't let you do harvesting contracts anymore. And it will actually make bailing contracts when the field isn't even ready to be baled. It's like totally messed up. So what I mean is that if you're just playing base game, right? You will get three almost every month baling contracts, and they'll be for straw, almost always straw. Technically you can get a grass baling contract, but they're super rare. But a baling contract will show up on a field even when the field isn't harvest ready, which is super weird because it puts the field into this state that basically harvests the field just so you can get a baling contract, and then gives you the baling contract so you can bale up the straw that was harvested. But the dumb thing is, this I don't understand at all, is that base game, it will actually let you harvest fields like a month or more early. Sometimes 2 months early. It will actually give you harvesting baling contracts when the crop is still green. And as soon as you accept the contract, the crop goes away and it's left with windrows as if it was harvested. But you can't actually harvest it early like that. It's super dumb. And it's a bug, totally a bug in the current contract system. Luckily, I'm able to fix stuff like that in my mod. So if you're using the latest version of Contract Boost, it does have a fix for that and a setting, so you can prefer harvest contracts. I prefer that I'm getting harvest contracts, and you will get harvest contracts. And by setting that setting, you are basically telling the game, hey, I don't really want straw baling contracts. I would prefer to have harvest contracts. And of course, if you're using Contract Boost, that means for cereal crops specifically, that you can get a harvest contract, and you can collect all the straw. So Contract Boost allows you to, quote unquote, steal the straw, and it lets you windrow, it lets you bale, it lets you do all kinds of stuff on harvesting contracts that you normally wouldn't be able to do, so that you can collect the straw for yourself, which is very nice, which is a much requested feature, and that's all part of the Contract Boost mod. You can turn whatever you want on and off. But since I want to collect the straw, and since I'm going to bail on a harvest contract anyways for myself, I prefer to just turn harvest contracts, turn that setting on, which says prefer harvest contracts, but that also means that I won't get very many bailing contracts. Yep, it's PC only. It's always going to be PC only. And that's not because I don't want it to. I want it to be all platforms. I would love it if it was all platforms. But the only way for Contract Boost to be all platforms would be if Giants built it into the game. And since they're not going to do that, because it basically allows you to customize the contract system, and why would anyone want to customize something to their liking? That's oh my gosh, that's such a crazy idea. Why would anyone want to customize something so they could play the game the way they want to play it? That's the dumbest idea ever. So obviously Giants won't do that. Thank you very much, the Lost 10mm. And I have money more ready to go. We have 4 more mods. 4 more mods that are pending testing, plus the update for Contract Boost, which is almost ready to release. We're just working out one last kink. And then I have another 3 or 4 mods which are in development and relatively ready for release. But not right now. Soon. Just trying to finish them up for you. Including VPW, BioBailer, the horse resale value is coming back. All of my mods for 22 are coming back, including many, many more. I have lots and lots of plans. I may focus more on mods for 25 than I did on content. Just so you know, mainly because I have so many cool ideas, and I also want to make a map, and that's going to be a big project. Actually, I want to make more than one map. I have like 3 different map ideas. Can't decide which one I want to do first, though. Because they're all really hard. They're all, like, changing the game kind of thing. So I don't know which one I want to do first. Wow, this fills up to 90% with one load. That's interesting. You're up on the east coast of Canada. Okay. I don't know anything about Canada. I'm assuming that means Vancouver area. There was one Canadian map that came out right towards the end of 22 that I never got to play on. And I really hope the map maker brings it to 25. I'm trying to remember the name of it. It was a 4X map set in that same area, I think. Oh, east, not west. You said east. Yes, Nova Scotia. I get that. Sorry. I was thinking west, and I got turned around. I forget the name of the map. It was set in like the... I think it was set in the Saskatchewan area, I think. But there was a really awesome map that came out as a 4X, privately released. I really hope the map author brings it to 25 because it looked like a really good map. I just never got to play it because it was like the end of 22 when it got released. Only downside of how I set this thing up in the trees is that it's in the trees, and so the clip distance and stuff like that is making it hard to back up trailers without messing with the camera a lot. If anyone's wondering, no, these silos do not normally support spinach, but I updated these silos to support all bulk products because that's how I like to play. And so I turned those silos into multi-fruit because I said so. Oh, another worker has an almost full tank. What? How is that possible? I just emptied the other one, didn't I? I have not. I have not seen Stevie's map edit. I have seen other people play Stevie's map edit. I think Stevie does great map edits. I think his map edits are great. But I'm looking for something new. I'm not looking for an edit. I'm not looking for a map I've played before. I'm not looking for something that was just converted from 17 to 19 to 22 to 25. I'm looking for something different. Something interesting. Something unique. I'm looking for the truly 25 maps. Made for 25 kind of thing. That's what I'm looking forward to. And this one that the German one I was talking about earlier, Oberschwaben, is not necessarily 100% that. because it did come out for 22, but it came out for 22 like literally 3 weeks before 2025 came out. So not very many people ever saw it. I'm looking for something new, something unique. Something not recycled. Something just, you know what I mean? Like, I have no desire to play Frankenmuth. I have no desire to play, or not no desire. I have little desire to play edits of any of the base game maps. While there are plenty out there, there's 4 or 5 edits of Riverbend Springs. Everyone loves Riverbend Springs. There's a couple edits of Hutan. One of which is released by the FSG group. FSG Taz just released a forestry version of this map, which I haven't taken a look at, but again, not really a super fan of edits. All right, let's see where we can sell our spinach. Since we said that we're not going to keep it, we're going to sell it. So let's go see where we can sell our spinach. So for us, actually, we're going to have to finish our... I'm going to put it in the silo for... Actually, no, I'm not. I'm just going to leave it here. Actually, no, I'm not going to leave it here. I'm going to drive this truck over to where we're going to sell it. We're probably going to sell it in the... Actually, I don't know where we're going to sell it. I'm just going to park it right here so it's out of the way. We'll decide where to sell it when we're done with the contract. Or we just... Look now, I guess. I was thinking we could sell it at our sell point, but we sell everything there, so there's no reason to do that. I mean, it's a good price, but... The canning factory. I don't know where that is. So let's drop this. Let's sell this at the canning factory. Sound good? Where is the canning factory? Yeah. I'm looking forward to new crops, and I'm looking forward to actual new crops. Not just ones recycled from earlier versions of Farm Sim. And I know the modders can do it. Can't wait for it. Looking forward to it. The one thing I'm really looking forward to is I want to see, and what I think I would challenge any modder to do, any map maker, is if you're making a net new map, please include a construction project of some kind. One of the biggest things that they've released for this game are the construction project, whether it be like a map level construction project or a building your own farmhouse kind of construction project. But I want to see a new and custom construction project. So I don't want to see a river. I don't want to see a Riverbend construction project on another map. I want to see something new. It shouldn't be that hard to do. I want to see someone come up with a construction project. I'm planning on adding construction projects to the maps that I make, but I really think that other people should think about that as well. How can you add a construction project to your map? I think that's important. Hold on one second. Whoa. Sorry, dude. I don't know which turn to make. I'm gonna try this one. Oh, forage crops? That's cool. I know that's something that would probably appeal to you, Outlaw. You love the forage harvesting. Oh, is this a building? I actually haven't been in this parking lot yet. Oh, cool. Oh, look. That's a really big pallet spawn area. That's pretty cool. And here you're gonna sell spinach for me? How much are we getting from our spinach? We got 60,000 liters of spinach. How much are we going to get? That's 60,000 liters from one field. So that's pretty good 14 grand for a single harvest. That's not bad. Compared to other crops, that's not bad. And our field isn't that big either. So to me, that's a pretty good rate of return for the amount of work we put in. That harvest didn't take very long. I like that. I'm good with that one. Whoa, I'm not going the right way. Send it. Still not going the right way. I was just about to say that these trucks are hard to flip. Apparently they're not as hard as I thought. Yeah, I would too, Outlaw. I think it's, and you know, from a programming perspective, it's 100% possible. I know how to do it. Like, in my mind, I know how to do it. I haven't done it, but in my mind, I know how to do it. So I think it's totally possible. I mean, just thinking about it, all you have to do is have a construction project that's a building, and then have the animal trigger and the fences and all that kind of stuff show up as part of the construction project. Right? Just have it be part of the construction project. And then the last step of the construction project, it shows the triggers. And it shows the food troughs. So you can't actually use it for animals until you've built it. But like even like a simple like an open pasture, you could have an open pasture be a construction project. If the fences were part of the construction project, you know, you just have to deliver wood for fence posts, and suddenly you have once you deliver all the wood for fence posts, you suddenly have an open pasture with wooden fences. That's simple enough. You could probably do that with base game assets without even actually building anything on your own. Let's put this right here. And let's check out, see if we need to do anything. Yep. That guy's blocked. This guy's in the way. I totally didn't think he was going to be in the way, but apparently he is. Yeah, you could totally add to the... Well, I don't think there's anything in the game logic that prevents it. But you would have to make a special type of building that would be both a construction and a husbandry. So the game doesn't support it outright. You would have to actually add a new building type for that to work. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and fertilize my field with my fertilizer spreader. And my fertilizer. I really miss the mini-map fertilizer. I used to love that. Having the fertilizer show up in the mini-map, I used to love that. That's one feature I'm definitely missing from the from precision farming, actually. That was part of precision farming. Zoom out a little bit. I wonder if I can get this all. I think I can get it all. Is this wide enough to get all this? Nice. Nope. I almost got it. Pretty close, honestly. My dad would say, close enough for bank work. So again, without actually doing it, making that construction project of a husbandry, I don't know for sure that it can be done. Logically, I don't see why not. Just put it like that. Logically, I don't see any reason why you shouldn't be able to. This is also Giants, and Giants is known for making things really hard for no good reason. Jackknife it. Not sure I really thought about this barn very well. I think the barn might stick out too much. Makes backing stuff in here really hard. Okay, good enough for me. Alright. Let's check on our process. How are we doing? 27% there. 61% there. I'm just going to do some more spinach harvesting. There's nothing else to do. I have to finish up these 2 fields, spinach harvesting. And a lot of it's just dumping out the workers when they're full. That's alright. That's boring. We've done our own field, and that's great. Hopefully, once we get all this stuff said and done, we're going to have about 100 grand. And maybe I'll buy one of the other fields around our farm. If we look real quick, the other fields around the farm here, we have this one right here, which I believe that green color is peas, which would be pretty cool because it's the same harvester for these 2. That would be pretty cool. And this field's only 133 grand, so I think this is going to be the next field we buy. We might buy this one also. And I kind of want to buy this corner here for this farm. This farm, we're going to buy this corner here. Maybe do all of the fields in the new crops, like a couple fields of each. Just all new crops. This one is red beets. Yeah, it's red beets. So we might harvest it, dig it up, plant something else. And then eventually we'll move on and set our sights down here and start doing some rice. And this is going to be the rice farm. And we'll probably expand out into here and maybe even some of these fields here and get a couple big rice fields going. That would be nice. And then the third farm, since this playthrough is 3 farms, we're going to do this area here and probably do some kind of animal. I'm not sure what kind of animal yet, but we'll do some animal. We're not sure. But for now, I'm actually going to probably end our stream. Instead of just ending abruptly, like I normally do, we're going to try to do a redirect. And we're going to head over to Rusty's stream. And we're going to see if we can redirect over there. So I haven't done a redirect before. We're going to figure it out right now. New changes. Customization. Live chat. Redirect. Add. Russ. Search for other channels. Boop. So we're going to go ahead and redirect over to Rusty's channel. So before we do that, I'm going to go ahead and say thank you. Thank you to everyone for being here. Thank you for coming along and watching, coming along and enjoying this little spinach harvesting extravaganza. We may not be back to this map for a little while, but I'll bring you back when there's something new to show. Next time, we're probably going to go back to the square by square challenge and do that, unless another map comes up or something like that. But for now, I want to say thank you for being here. Thank you for coming along. And one note, and this is new for tonight, you can see on the screen, I have to put a little background around it, but we do have a listing of all of our supporters. And I wanted to call out the supporters who support this channel because you make this mean a lot to me and make it you make this channel happen. And I want to be able to stream and provide videos and content for all of you, and these are the people who help make it happen. And we have 2 categories there. There's actually a 3rd category, which is no one has actually joined the category. It's the highest level category. But we have 2 levels. The awesome individual is really cheap. It's only like $2. And we got some great people. A couple of people here tonight were in that category. Thank you for everyone. And they always involve people that give it just a little bit more. And they are the people who are really dedicated to this channel and really support me. I want to say thank you to every one of you. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and say thank you and catch you later. And go ahead and jump over to Rusty's stream and tell him that Gaming Joy sent you. I think that's all I have to do, right? Save. I hit save. What now? If you're not going to hear me anymore, thanks for coming. Bye for now. Bye-bye.